What is up, gang? Week 12 games are in the books and ready to be put out. We have the Week 12 matchups and predictions right here for you. But before we get into that, if you could hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon buttons, that'd be greatly appreciated. It's extremely helpful for the channel. And I don't want you to miss out on a single thing I put out. So let's get into it. So, coming in on the Saturday games. All games will be played on Saturday this week. Just keep that in mind. So, our first game on Saturday will be, or one of our first games, I should say, will be the number 6 Oregon Ducks, who are 9-1 on the year and 6-1 against the Pac-12, versus the 3-7 Arizona State Sun Devils, who are 2-5 versus Pac-12 opponents. Will be at Mountain America Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, where the over-under for this game is 53.5 points, while Oregon is the 22.5 point favorite. And Oregon, I have winning this game. I have them going into Mountain America Stadium and running through Arizona State. So Oregon will improve to 10-1 on the year. Coming in next at Arizona Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, we have the number 18 Utah Utes, who are 7-3 on the year and 4-3 versus the Pac-12, going up against the number 21 Arizona Wildcats, who are also 7-3 on the year, but 5-2 against the Pac-12. The over-under for this game is 44.5 points, with Arizona as the 1-point favorite. I've got Arizona winning this game at home against Utah for the upset win. Coming in at the next game, we've got the number 3 Michigan Wolverines visiting the Maryland Terrapins at SECU Stadium in College Park, Maryland. The number 3 Wolverines are 10-0 on the year and 7-0 versus the Big Ten, while Maryland is 6-4 on the year and 3-4 versus the Big Ten. The over-under is 50.5 points, with Michigan as the 19.5 point favorite. I have Michigan winning this game, even though Jim Harbaugh will not be there. Shannon Moore will be, I believe that's the name. Shannon Moore will be at the helm. I think he will get the job done. He will lead Michigan to another win. Coming in next at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, I do not have the over-under and point spread for you and favorites, and by how many points it doesn't show for me. But we've got the Chattanooga Mocs, who are 7-3, going up against the number 8 Alabama Crimson Tide, who are 9-1. So Alabama is going to win this game. They're going to win it outright at home. Chattanooga does not stand a chance against them. And I can tell you now, Alabama is probably the heavy favorite for it. So Alabama will win this game at home. Coming up next, we have the Ole Miss Rebels, and they are facing off against the UL Monroe Warhawks. And that will be played at Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi. The Warhawks of UL Monroe are 2-8 on the year, while number 9 Ole Miss is 8-2 on the year. The point spread for this for over-under is 62.5 points, with Mississippi as the 36.5 point favorite. I have UL Monroe losing this game, and I have them getting blown out. Coming in next, we've got Rutgers going up against, who are 6-4 on the year and 3-4 against the Big Ten, going up against the number 10 Penn State Nittany Lions, who are 8-2 on the year and 5-2 against the Big Ten. This game will be played at Beaver Stadium in University Park, Pennsylvania, where the over-under is 43.5 points and a 20.5 point favorite for PSU. PSU will win this game, and they will win it outright. Rutgers will lose, big time, and I think it's going to be very convincing. Coming in next, we have the number 11 Louisville Cardinals, who are 9-1 on the year and 6-1 versus the ACC, visiting Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, where they will take on the 6-4 Miami Hurricanes, who are 2-4 versus the ACC. The over-under for this game is 47.5 points, with Louisville as the 1.5 point favorite. I am taking Louisville in this game. I think Louisville is too good of a team, and I think they are undervalued in this game. I think Louisville will take this game, and it will be convincing. Coming in next, we have the number 17 Oklahoma Sooners, who come in at 8-2 on the year with a 5-2 record against the Big 12, going up against the BYU Cougars at LaVell Edwards Stadium in Provo, Utah, where the BYU Cougars are 5-5 on the year and 2-5 against the Big 12. The over/under for this game is 57.5 points, with Oklahoma as the 24-point favorite, and I have OU winning this game. So, Oklahoma will beat BYU in convincing fashion. I don't see BYU hanging with Oklahoma. Coming in next, we have the number 23 Tulane Green Wave visiting FAU Stadium in Boca Raton, Florida, where the Florida Atlantic Owls, who are 4-6 on the year and 3-3 First American Conference teams, will be facing off against the Green Wave, who are 9-1 on the year and 6-0 against American Conference teams. The over/under for this is 48.5 points, with Tulane as the 9.5 point favorite. I've got the Green Wave taking down Florida Atlantic and winning this big. Now, we do have some Division II games. Not really going to go much into those. I don't really know much about the Division II teams, but the Division II championships playoffs are in effect. So, just putting that out there. We have New Haven versus Charleston, Ferris State versus Grand Valley State, Virginia Union versus Kutztown, Limestone versus Valdosta State, East Stroudsburg versus Slippery Rock, Shepherd versus Lanor Rhine, West Florida versus Delta State, Indianapolis versus Pittsburgh State, Bemidji State versus UT Marion Bayesian, Henderson State versus Central Missouri, Minnesota State versus Augustana University, South Dakota, Central Washington versus Western Colorado. Those are the Division II matchups. I'm not going to give predictions, like I said, because I don't really know them that well. So, getting back to what we're really here for, which is the Division I teams. Coming in next, we've got number 2 ranked Georgia, who are 10-0 on the year and 7-0 against the SEC, going up against number 13 Tennessee, who is 7-3 on the year and 3-3 against the SEC. This game will be played at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. The over/under is 58.5 points, with Georgia as the 10-point favorite. I've got Georgia beating Tennessee and beating them big. So, Georgia will remain undefeated. Coming in at the next game at Notre Dame Stadium in Notre Dame, Indiana, we've got the number 20 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who are 7-3 on the year, hosting the 4-6 Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Notre Dame is the 24.5 point favorite with an over/under of 47.5 points. I've got Notre Dame winning this game. I don't think Wake Forest is good enough to hang with Notre Dame, so Wake Forest will lose. Also, just to go back to that Tennessee game, Tennessee is 7-3 and they are facing their rival, Georgia. So that's just to put that out there, a little tidbit of information. Coming in next, we've got the 5-5 and 3-4 versus Big Ten Illinois alumni. going up against the number 22 Iowa Hawkeyes, who are 8-2 on the year and 5-2 against the Big Ten. They're playing at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City, Iowa. Over-under is 30.5 points, while Iowa is the 3-point favorite. I've got Iowa winning this game outright. I don't see Illinois hanging with Iowa. Iowa is too good of a team. Coming in next, we've got the number 24 North Carolina Tar Heels, who are 8-2 on the year and 4-2 against the SEC, visiting Death Valley Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, where they are going up against the 6-4 and 3-4 in the ACC Clemson Tigers. This is a 58.5 point over-under. Clemson is the 6.5 point favorite. I am taking Clemson at Death Valley against North Carolina. So Clemson will get the upset win. Coming in with our next game, we've got the 5-5, 3-4 against Big Ten teams, Minnesota Golden Gophers, visiting Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, where they will match up against number 1 ranked the Ohio State Buckeyes, who are 10-0 on the year and 7-0 versus the Big Ten. Over-under for this game was 49.5 points, with OSU as the 27.5 point favorite. I've got the Buckeyes storming through the Golden Gophers. Coming in next, we've got the number 15 ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys, who are 7-3 on the year and 5-2 versus the Big 12, while Houston is 4-6 and 2-5 versus the Big 12. This game will be played at TD-ECU Stadium in Houston, Texas, where the Cougars will be facing the Cowboys as the underdog by 7 points. The over-under is 59.5 points. I've got the Cowboys wrangling up the Cougars and getting the win. Coming in at the next game, we've got the number 4 ranked Florida State Seminoles, and they will be at the Doak hosting North Alabama, and the Lions are 3-7 on the year, while Florida State is 10-0 on the year. This will be played at Doak County Stadium. There is no over-under. There is no line, so I can't give you that. Florida State, though, is more than likely going to be a very big favorite in this, and I've got Florida State running through North Alabama at the Doak. Coming in at the next game, we've got the number 25 Kansas State Wildcats, who are 7-3 on the year and 5-2 against the Big 12, going up against the number 16 ranked Kansas Jayhawks at David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium in Lawrence, Kansas. Kansas is 7-3 on the year and 4-3 versus the Big 12. The over-under for this game is 55.5 points, while Kansas State is the 7-point favorite. I am indeed taking Kansas State for this game. I just think Kansas State has really made a name for themselves, and they are too good, and they are going to beat Kansas at Kansas. Coming in next at Russer Stadium in Corvallis, Oregon, we have the number 5 Washington Huskies, who are 10-0 on the year and 7-0 versus the Pac-12 teams. Coming in against Oregon State, who is 8-2 on the year and 5-2 versus the Pac-12. This is a bit of a surprising one, but I will tell you the 63.5 point over-under is not enough to make Washington the favorite. Oregon State is the favorite by 1 point. I'm going to take Oregon State in this game. I think Oregon State will win, and they will give themselves some momentum going into the final week of the season. I've got Oregon State with the upset win over the Huskies at Oregon State. Coming in at our next game, we've got the Florida Gators, who are 5-5 on the year and 3-4 versus the SEC, going up against the number 14 ranked Missouri Tigers, who are 8-2 on the year and 4-2 against the SEC. This game will be played at Memorial Stadium Farrett Field at Columbia, Missouri. Missouri is the 11-point favorite with an over-under 59.5 points. I've got Missouri winning this game and sending Florida packing back home with a third straight loss when they have to face a very tough Florida State Seminoles team. Missouri will get the win, and Florida will go to 5-6. Coming in at the next game at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa, we have the number 7 Texas Longhorns going up against the Iowa State Cyclones. Texas is 9-1 on the year and 6-1 versus the Big 12, while Iowa State is 6-4 on the year and 5-2 against the Big 12. The over-under for this is 48.5 points, with Texas as the 8-point favorite. I've got Texas winning this game at Iowa State. And rounding out our games this week, we have the LSU Tigers hosting the Georgia State Panthers at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Panthers are 6-4 on the year, while LSU is 7-3 on the year. The over-under is 71.5 points, with LSU as the 31-point favorite. I've got LSU taking this game and remaining strong going into the final week of the season. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time.